I was the fourth most popular comedian in the UK at that time.
Well, hello and welcome to the vlog. This is vlog number 500. I am joined today by my brother Dave on the vlog. Special guest.
Hello everybody.
We're going to just do like an overview of vlogging in this special 500th episode.
It's a lot.
And we need to go right back to the very beginning, and that is like 10 years ago. Dave here started a vlog.
Oh no.
And
that means we're starting with failure. Okay.
they say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and I sort of looked at his early vlogs and thought, yeah, I could do that. And so we started a vlog. But
that's not imitation. That's just recognising the poor quality that my vlog was. You thought, yeah, that's easily achievable. I'll give that a go.
So my question is, why did you start a vlog?
My vlog was called Halfway to 70, and it was because I'd reached 35 and I realised I was halfway to 70. Probably ought to do something interesting to celebrate the fact, so I started a vlog. At the time I was very into Casey Neistat's videos on YouTube, and I wanted to make something vaguely similar but obviously not as interesting due to the lack of budget, lack of being a millionaire. And yeah, so I started making weekly vlogs, and to be fair, at the time I was doing some quite interesting things. I was doing a little bit of driving around for my work and all that sort of stuff, so I felt like there was enough variety that I could make something interesting happen. These days I literally do the same thing every week, so it would not be as interesting, and hence why I don't do it.
Yeah, you put a finger on a sensitive point there for me, who's really struggled to kick off 2026 with anything interesting on the vlog, because my life also seems to be settling into something of a more predictable work pattern. But as I said, you know, I looked at your vlogs and thought, no, there's something about that, telling a story, talking about what you're doing and why you're doing it, that I thought was engaging and interesting. And I thought we might, as we're talking about origin stories, let's just for the fun of it go way back to 2006, 2007 and the very birth of YouTube, and let's just sort of big up ourselves as our part in the origin story of the world's favourite social media platform.
Yes.
I think I followed you back then. I think, again, you had a YouTube channel, or an active one, before I did.
Well, you'd had an account before me, because I remember, because my very first YouTube channel was called Crex81, and that's because I looked online and I saw that everyone had a stupid name with letters and numbers in it, so I thought that that's what you were supposed to do. So I did Crex81, which sort of didn't mean anything. It sort of did mean something, like I was born in 81, and I'd sort of subtly tried to say it was a creative explosion, but was too ashamed of that name to ever say it out loud, so just it was Crex81. I really, really wish I'd gone for a real name back then, because it would have made me a lot easier to find. My puppet videos came out before my me videos, so I made videos with puppets for about 6 months, I think, before I ever put my face on screen. I thought you'd done.
You certainly had a viral video before I did.
Yeah, I can't remember what you're referring to, but I'm sure.
But you worked at, back then, YouTube was so small you could contact them and talk about being on the homepage when that was still a thing.
Back then, you could categorise yourself and say, I'm a this or I'm a that. So my shtick was, I literally sat there in one evening going, well, what should I be that would make me the most This is so embarrassing to say out loud. What could I be that would make me the most popular? And so I went through all the different categories, and I thought, I realised if I listed my channel as being a comedian, I was the fourth most popular comedian in the UK at that time. And that was entirely down to the fact that there were no other UK comedians at that time who were real comedians actually doing any work. So yeah, I stayed on the comedian rankings. It took me a couple of years to drop from number 4 down to drop off the top 100. And I did make a video celebrating leaving the top 100 comedians in the UK. Because there was once real comedians turned up, there's nothing you could do to stay on the list because they're all way better than you. But it was fun, yeah.
And this is back in the day for people who weren't born then. There was a video called The Evolution of Dance, and it was a guy called Justin who did it, and he had 6 million views, and that was like, how did anyone get 6 million views?
It was an unimaginable number.
An unimaginable number. And at that point, through the youth work we're doing in a church in the UK, I put out a video that was like a parody of a Fergie song called Fergalicious for Christmas, called Christmalicious. And that ended up getting 500,000 views overnight when it ended up on the YouTube homepage, which back then was, again, like, I remembered like sitting down opening my computer that Sunday morning, and it was like, what just happened? Like,
yeah.
And it was weird because it was right when YouTube was exploding. Time magazine had just named you with a mirror as the person of the year. Yeah. And that was the most discussed video on YouTube globally in the same week that YouTube was on the cover of Time. Now, all of that means nothing because look at us now.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you talk about the numbers, and I genuinely remember posting a video, like on my first videos, and waking up the next day and I'd had 100 views, and my mind could not comprehend this. I was just like, how did 100 different people find my video? And now you see some people post videos and they'll get like 100 views in an hour, not even an hour. You're like, how on earth? Like, what is going on? I mean, I know like there's been so much progress in how they distribute them and all that sort of stuff. Again, I clearly remember coming home from work one day, and my channel had been recommended so that when new people sign up to YouTube, I'd worked my way onto the shortlist of, would you like to subscribe to this person? And I gained 1,000 subscribers like in a day. And again, I posted a channel note or something apologising to people, saying I think I've been hacked. I think something's happened because people are subscribing to my channel in ridiculous numbers, and I don't know what to do about it. And someone was like, "Don't worry, you've just been recommended to new people when they subscribe." Oh, rubbish! Yeah. Well, I've handled that well, haven't I?
Yeah. I think the other thing that people younger than us will maybe struggle to comprehend is, like, we met the first person who ever got paid by YouTube to make content, which again means nothing these days, and he's dead. So like, and he fell off their radar relatively quickly. But there was a first generation of people who really helped prove that what the platform's become today, it could become. Most of whom are completely irrelevant, like us today.
Yeah, well, when you hear people talk now about the first wave of YouTubers, they're all wrong. Everybody references people who are at least the second or the third wave of YouTubers. Because all the first wave people, as you say, I don't think, well, I mean, maybe if you look at like Phil DeFranco or someone like that who's still going, Ian Crossland, but like other than that, basically no one's doing it anymore. Yeah, I mean, for good reason. Like, I mean, we all had mortgages. You can't play at YouTube forever. Like, you've got to get a job. So yeah, it's
You stopped vlogging for reasons you've sort of alluded to. What did you learn from it?
I realised that I was putting an awful lot of effort in, and I'm the sort of person that I could put an awful lot of effort into an awful lot of different things, and I'm quite happy doing that because I quite enjoy being busy. And then I just thought, oh goodness, is this the thing I want to be busy with? And if I want to do other things in my life, if I want to have the brain space or the capacity to do an other thing, or something needs to give. And basically I'd started it partly as well to do something creative. I wanted to push myself to be a bit creative. And then I thought, well, having got the ball rolling, can I use the momentum I'd got going over here and just divert it and send it over here and get that thing going? And I think I did. Yeah,
no, you hit on a really good point there. I am slightly concerned that you're like building a strong case for the obituary for the vlog here. But I like what you're saying there about being creative and stuff. And one of the things that I know we both share is we have been influenced by Gary Vaynerchuk and some of his thoughts on vlogging, on social media, on communication. And he would say, document, don't create, or something like that.
He would. Yeah, document, don't create.
But it's interesting, like you sort of were talking about like vlogging from a creative point of view and wanting it to do that. I know I've approached it. One of my reasons, apart from communication, was about me keeping like the creative discipline of, I'm in a video program every week, I'm editing, and I'm you know. keeping in with skills.
Yeah, I've done things specifically like that because I wanted to gain a skill. I love a good side project. So I have a little theory that, like, basically, if you allow yourself to play and do something with no pressure on it, no weekly commitment, no whatever, and I can trick myself into thinking this project has no consequence, therefore I'm just going to have fun with it. If you do that, you can learn some skills and it's fun. It's not stressful, because if I was to do the same thing but say, oh, this is going to be part of a weekly vlog, I'd then find that quite a pressure. So I've done things like I bought, like the night vision cameras, and basically I bought them partly, and this is going to sound a bit weird, but because I wanted to experiment with vertical video. Everything that happens is really going to happen right in the middle of the shot. So then I taught myself how to make vertical videos and post reels and post things online through the night vision. I had this thing called a shot in the dark, and so these were videos shot in the dark, and they were a complete shot in the dark because you never knew whether you were going to get anything. And so the whole a shot in the dark experiment existed just for me to work out how on earth to do vertical video, because I didn't have a reason to make any vertical videos, but I was interested. How do vertical videos work? So I gave myself the excuse to play, work out how to do that, and then make it useful for other things.
We put out a video at the end of last year on the vlog here called Hits and Misses of 2025. If we pull the camera back a bit, hits and misses over the last decade, from your perspective as someone who's kind of watched what we've done, is there anything that stands out? It's like, that was really good.
Oh, from like WeDoAdventure videos?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a sucker for a good day out. I like I like those sorts of things. I mean, having said that, I do remember with fondness. Is it you're riding on a truck through the middle of the town playing like Limina Glasgow? Are they playing?
Yeah.
Like, is it a Dawn thing? No, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, that's Mayday.
But
it's called like doing the wake up call. All the workers get the workers' day off. And so the band go out at 5 o'clock in the morning to wake them all up.
Come on, workers, enjoy your day off.
Yeah.
This is 7 o'clock. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Now, of course, they all look the same in my brain. How do I separate them?
Well, how about dive into some that you go, no, why did you do that? Like, you can be rude. It's fine.
Oh, well, I don't want to be rude.
What are you tempted to click away from, or what do you click away from on the vlog?
The temptation to click away is going, I've seen this before. But that's hard, isn't it? Because we all live a life where we all do the same things all the time. And so I think if I was to say that's one thing that Casey was really good at when he was doing it, and he burnt out, and he stopped. So I think that's an indication of how hard work it was to do what he did. His best videos were like the early days of Casey having a drone, climbing out a fire escape on his building to fly it on the roof, to then crash it on someone else's roof and to fish it back with a coat hanger sort of thing and a piece of string, which actually had nothing to do with his work. And I think oftentimes he would make the best videos of him making a new stand for something because he wants to put something on the wall in his office, and it'd be him going to the hardware store next door and buying the right bolt, the right nut, and coming back. But that 5-minute story has probably taken him an entire day to make, and he had the luxury of being able to afford to give a day. And so that's why Gary Vaynerchuk's there in the corner going, document, don't create, because that's obviously massively easier. But he's saying that as a millionaire who could afford to have a cameraman, D-Rock or whoever, follow him round, filming him and making and editing all his stuff for him. And so Vaynerchuk's own advice should be taken with a pinch of salt and going, yeah, but Gary, mate, like, you're not like us. Like, you pretend to be like that, and you do a really good job of pretending to be the everyman. But you're not. You run a multi-million-pound marketing agency, but you have handheld wobbly camera shots to feel relatable. But we're not the same, you and I. I'm just as different from Gary Vaynerchuk as I am from Casey Neistat. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I think, like, I definitely hold to, like, when I'm making a vlog, I'm documenting in the sense of it's going to be what we're doing. I'm not going to create something to put it on the vlog, which is why I know a bunch of them are really boring, because it's like, you've done that before. It's like, yeah, that's my life. Like, I have to sit here and do this.
I sit in the studio every day.
Because if I go outside and create something interesting, I'm then not doing the work that I should be doing. For me, the art is hopefully at its best when I'm in the studio recording with somebody. We're making art. That's the aim. You know, those songs that come out are something meaningful and kind of whatever art does that documentation doesn't do. Like, hopefully art transports you. You know, good documentary shows you what really happened, or at least, you know, is a perspective on what happened. Good art transports you somewhere else, into a different place, into a different way of thinking. I've sort of sat here going 500. You know, like you started your vlog going halfway to 70. Like, I don't, hand on heart, I don't know that we're halfway to 1,000. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe I get a fresh idea on what's actually interesting to vlog. At the same time, I think it's important in the nature of the work that we do that we give people a window into that world and let them see what's going on. But I wonder if you have any sort of final thoughts on documenting and on storytelling, to sort of throw in the mix. Any words of advice as we look to the future?
I'm not sure I'm the best storyteller, if I'm honest with you. I say that as someone trying to write a story. I think I'm good at doing projects or goals and tasks, and I'm very good at setting my eye on something and going, well, we're going to achieve that. I have no idea how we're going to achieve that, but we are going to achieve that, and we're going to make up the difference for getting there. I think my skill, and the only thing I can encourage other people to do, is to develop like a dogged determination. Call it grit, call it, I don't know, resilience, if you want to sound fancy. But I'm good at that. I don't have many skills. I'm not the world's most gifted or talented at anything in particular, but I do have a determination that is bigger than most people's. So I'm able to do things, not because I'm clever, but because I just don't bother giving up. However, at the same time, I'm also a big fan of understanding that, let's say, for instance, Christmas comes every year. And so if I get a third of the way into the project and I think this is not going to happen in time, I'm very happy to call it quits and go, do you know what, Christmas exists next year, and I'll punt it into the long grass and pick it up in 6 months once Christmas is gone. So I think if I have a good anything, it's a good mix of determination and a little bit of realism going, am I going to pull this off? Okay, maybe not. So in which case, let's punt it. But that's not about storytelling. That's more about trying to manage myself and my own time. I don't think I'm the best storyteller. I'm trying to work at it. That's why I started a Substack. That's why I'm trying to write. That's why I'm trying to push myself in that direction, because I want to get better at that. And part of that is learning that, oh man, like I've done my first draft and my second draft. I'm now wrestling with a third draft of this jolly story, and learning that there's so much you don't know, and being willing to learn is probably the greatest thing that I'm doing at the moment.
For those who want a little insight into storytelling, I'll stick a couple of shots up of some books that I've read or am reading on storytelling if you want to get your head around it. Dave, tell us though, your Substack, who's it for? Who would enjoy digging into that?
I said earlier that I have a bit of a scatterbrain, and if you want a little insight as to what's running through my scatterbrain, then I write a Substack called ramblingdave.substack.com, and it's just basically I have loads of thoughts all the time, and bless them, my poor wife and colleagues don't want to hear them all, so I can't understand why. So to help me process what it is I'm thinking, I write it down every week. And it helps me get it out, helps me crystallise what I think about that thing, and then hopefully move on. So I don't have to have these things running through my head all the time, because I've sort of almost like like the old insect collectors. I've like put a pin in it, and I go, well, that's what I think about that.
I have registered Substack so that I can follow what you're doing. I have yet to post anything, and it is something. When we got to the end of last year, I was like, oh, should that be something for 2026? And then I was like, there are many things that I'm doing, and I probably don't need to add that. Though there are things, sometimes I wonder, some of what I'm doing, should I be writing this down? Is that an interesting sort of story or conversation to engage people in? But while the vlog's going, that's taking up time. And so it's vlogging Substack, you know, like...
Yeah.
You can't do everything.
Well, yes, Substack is a growing community. That's all I'll say.
We've probably got to the end of waffling on about almost a decade of vlogging on WeDoAdventure. Yeah, it's
mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a really, really good innings to show 500.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I can say anything,
wow.
When you go, we've made 500 weekly vlogs, and despite what life's thrown at us, I think the only time we've missed a weekly vlog is when I was lying on a hospital bed, possibly dying. And so that's not bad.
Quitter.
In almost a decade, like to have that level of consistency.
Yeah.
And like there is a thing like, should you only put stuff out that's good, or should you put stuff out that's consistent? And for us, definitely, we've put stuff out that was consistent, and we're not going to claim it's all good.
Yeah.
But again, that's vlogging in the more documentary style of like, this is not entertainment, this is us talking about our lives.
No, this is what's going on.
Yeah, I do take some satisfaction from that. Do I want to make another 500?
I think you should.
Do I want to make another 500 vlogs?
No.
I don't know that I do right now. The scary thing is I'd be in my 60s by the time we got to vlog 1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that is it for our thoughts on vlogging and WeDoAdventure, what we've achieved, what we've not achieved. I think it's fantastic that we've put out 500 vlogs and still get the same view numbers that we got right back at the beginning. We've seen no growth.
As consistency, Matt.
That is consistency.
More people should strive for that.
And yeah, we love it. And so, yeah, if you have been, thanks very much for watching. Do give us a big thumbs up for 500 vlogs of something. Do remember, together we do adventure, and we'll see you next time.